Hi all. In the last part of the video, we saw that what is the strength duration curve. This is the second part of the video. I am Dr. Rajakrishnan from Essence College of Physiotherapy. We are moving to the SD curves second part. We already saw in the last video, just a quick recap of that video. This the what is the SD curve and how it works and how we are going to mark in the graphical representation in the SD curve. And we said about what is degeneration, what is regeneration of a nerve in Valerian degeneration and regeneration. Then we saw about Sunderman's classifications. Then we saw about what is EMG and MCV, what it looks like with the SD curve, and we saw about what's the apparatus and materials required to take an SD curve, and we already saw that what is the innervated and the curve of the innervated muscles of SD curve. This is the innervated muscles curve. It is look like a parabolic triangular parabola. Then we are moving on to the completed deinnervated muscle. If a completed deinnervated muscle is there, we are going to take a SD curve for that. Then the curve is called as muscle curve. Then we are going to assess a of completely deinnervated muscle. It can be deinnervated by maybe deinnervated by a fracture near to the nerve site. It may be fully deinnervated or partially deinnervated. Then for this, the curve is little bit shifted to the right side. It is very steep, and if you want to assess a deinnervated, completely deinnervated muscle, we have to raise intensity to the maximum and the duration below 100 milliseconds. The shorter durations will not respond to this completely deinnervated muscle. Then the curve look like this. It is the completely deinnervated muscles curve. It's below the 100 millisecond. If we go, it is below the 100 second. If we go beyond this range, the nerve cannot be assessed with this. Then we are moving on to the partial deinnervated. Partial deinnervated is nothing but it's not completely deinnervated. It may be deinnervated at the half the level. The nerve got injury because of compression or like disc bulge, like also that is called as a partial deinnervated SD curve. If you are going to do SD curve for that, the nerve fibers, it may be because of partial part of the nerve is supplying to the next part of the muscle, and the next part of the muscle is the innervated. So, for example, the ulnar nerve is supplying for the flexor digitorum superficialis. The flexor digitorum superficialis is having a two-part muscle. One is supplied by the ulnar nerve, the another is supplied by the median nerve. If it is cut, cut in the ulnar part, then the ulnar part is only affected, then the action of the ulnar part of the flexor digitorum superficial is only is affected. Then we can assess it with this partial deinnervated SD curve. In this, there is a kink-like structure, which is dividing both the deinnervated and the innervateds. The deinnervateds and the innervators curve from left and right. The left side of the graph represents the kink. Left side of the kink in the graph is represents the innervated muscle fibers, and the right side of the curve is represents the deinnervated part of the muscle. It's what the it's what the SD curve looks like in a partially deinnervated muscle. This part is called as the kink of the partially deinnervated SD curve. This part is the this left part is the what we say it is a innervated one. This one is the deinnervated muscles SD curve. Even then coming to the Rheobase is the main part of the SD curve. It is the minimum intensity of the current required to stimulate a muscle and infinite duration. If flickering of contraction is getting by the nerve, the flickering of the contraction is getting by the therapist for observation, it is called as Rheobase. The minimal current which is used to stimulate a muscle is called as the Rheobase. Then the normal range of this Rheobase is 2 to 18 milliamps. The Rheobase is greater for denervated muscle because the denervated muscle will get more stimulus to make the muscle to get in action. Mainly 300 to 100 to 300 millisecond duration are used to record the Rheobase, and the normal value of the Rheobase of different muscles are, for the examples, the deltoid here, it is there. It will receive around 14 volts. We already said it ranges between 2 to 18 milliamps. Then the amps is 5, 5 milliamp. Then for triceps big, it's around 18 volts and 5 milliamp. For abductor, digiti minimi, it's around 30 volts because it's a very small muscle. We will give more current to make the muscle to make the action. The rear base is 30 volts and 8 milliamps. In the frontalis, we have to give more rear base 14 volts and 4 milliamps. For this, we are going to end this session, and next video we are going to see the remaining parts of the SD curve. Thank you.